way back on Calvary, and the blood that gives me strength from day to day. That's an F7. Think of a C7, but just move it up to F. Both my sons are sleeping. There's one, the other's upstairs in bed. Yeah. Oh, so the most significant news of the day is that Kawhi Leonard in the NBA, this fella, Kawhi Leonard, got traded from the San Antonio Spurs to the Toronto Raptors, which as of like a year and a half ago was my localist team. So this is a little bit crooked. Oh, now it's straight. I made a video of Mrs. Robinson, Simon and Garfunkel's song, Mrs. Robinson, which has now garnered over 11,000 views. I guess people like that song, and I have some other ones too. And then what happens is people see that video, and then they subscribe to the channel because they think it's like that kind of channel, and then they just are inundated with videos of me and my two sons bringing you really even much better videos, and then they unsubscribe because they're not interested in that. So then I made another channel where I just put those videos, and I just have sort of stopped playing guitar for the most part, other than on specific occasions, which is when everybody plays guitar. Well, there's this song. It's an old, just got a good groove to it. It's an old like gospel song, and so if you're not into that, then you won't be into this. But what I noticed from working at a music store for a couple years, because I worked at a guitar store for 2 or 3 years, musicians were a little bit more open with one another as far as how do I say, spiritual sensibilities or religious ideologies. I don't like the word ideology, but there's a lesson to be learned in that. I'm going to play this on a nylon string guitar. You don't have to. This is actually, incidentally, the coolest and most unique nylon string guitar on the face of the earth. Unique in the literal sense of the word, because it's the only one of its kind, and but you can play it on any guitar. Yeah, this is the blood shall never lose its power, or something. Not to be confused with the La Dispute song called Shall Never Lose Its Power. I don't know if there's a connection there, but that song has like mournfully religious imagery in it, and so that probably goes right down to the title. You probably don't know that song, but you might know that song. The lion is not sacred when not... What is this? The lion is not sacred when not seated with the lamb. Anyway, so this song, Shall Never Lose Its Power, that's not this song, that's the La Dispute song. The Blood Will Never Lose Its Power, I think it's called. Has some groovy chords in it, so that's why I think it will be of musical interest to us today. And it's in the key of A flat, which puts us immediately in bar chord territory, right? So that's an A flat. So play that with a bar chord on the 4th fret. The blood that Jesus... What we want to do there is play this diminished chord on Jesus. So from A flat to this diminished chord, but the thing is that's a bit of a transition to go for just one quick dee-dee-dee. So I play it like, because that's less movement. So what I'm doing there is playing, so with my ring finger I'm on the 5th fret, and then I'm barring here these 3 on the 3rd fret. So D string on the 3rd fret, G string on the 4th fret, B string on the 3rd fret, words, okay. Oh, I'm not playing good today. It's because I never play guitar anymore. Anyway, so... Blood that Jesus shed, and that's a D flat, and then you're gonna do a D diminished 7. So shed for me, and that's a cool sound because... So diminished 7 is 6th fret, no, that's totally incorrect. 5th fret, because it's a D. 6th fret, you're barred there on the 4th fret, and then 6th fret again. I mean, you do it like that, but you're coming from this bar chord. I feel like my brain is not working with my hands today. You ever have days like that? For me. You want to go to a C7, but I like to do this little. So kind of walk up to it because you have 2 measures of C7. For me. Way back on Calvary. So it's after the C7, it's F sharp minor, and then A flat 7, which I'm going to play there now instead of up here. So that's just on the top 4 strings. You're barring these 3 here, and then playing the 7th on the top string, which is an F sharp. Where do you want to take it from? Shed for me. And that is like the 2 notes of a C. It's a C and an E, and then a D and an F, and then an E and a G, right? And then land on the F sharp. So, oh my goodness, words, Daniel, words. C7, that's what it's called. Way back on Calvary, A flat 7. And the strength, note the blood, that's a D flat that gives me strength. And that's a groovy chord, that's a B flat 7 over D. You want to walk through that chord? We can walk through it. Imagine a B flat, now a B flat 7 by removing this. Let's just drop it down to these 4 strings. But, we want a D in the bass. So there's a D right here. These 3 notes from the B7, B flat 7, and then it's easy. So it's right there, right? Clear as mud here. I'll move this just a little bit lower. Where are we coming from? Oh, from a D flat. And then it goes back to the A flat. I like the shape. My wife and I used to play weddings together because she's a gifted musician. And she plays this instrument, it's called a viola. It's like a overgrown violin. And we played this song by Bach, it's called Air on a G string, which goes. It doesn't really go like that, but you have to hear the melody in your mind. It goes, that's not the note, it goes, I don't know why I bring that up, but that's where it was, right? Only in that case it's a B7 over E flat, not a B flat over D. Same shape, okay? It is a long, I'm sorry, I don't even know where we are in the song anymore. Way back on Calvary, and the blood that gives me strength from day to day. That's an F7. Think of a C7, but just move it up to F. Today it will never lose its power. So that is day to day, F7, and then B flat minor. It will never, A flat, ever lose. So you just go back and forth between those 2 chords, which are B flat minor and A flat major. And then E flat 7, its power. And you gotta do that little cadence there, that little 4-1 cadence. So I really only play these 3 strings here. So I'm doing this bar chord, but cheating with my thumb. The reason I'm cheating with my thumb is because it then makes it that much easier to rock my pinky down and hit those 3 strings. And those are the only 3 strings I want to hit. I don't want to hit this top string, otherwise it's going to sound like, and you don't want that note in there. That's be a very distracting note to have in there. It will never lose its, that's an E flat 7, same as the F7. Its power. Probably after this you'll want to sing the chorus, which is something like so E flat 7, you can play it here or you can play it here, it doesn't matter. It reaches to the highest mountain, it flows through the lowest valley. So that's, you go from an A flat to an A flat 7. But for me, it sounds a little bit too boring to go from this to this. There's not enough change there. So I like to go from an A flat to an A flat 7 here, the same one we played earlier in the song. Now I could, since I'm already up here, play the same 4 notes here, but I don't, because doing that I have to mute the top string. But when you play it, there's still that extra sound subtly in there, which takes away from the highest note. And the other thing is, playing it on the top string gives it a more punchy sound. It's more trebly to play it there than it is to play it here. I don't even remember where in the song this is. It flows through the lowest valley, and really hit it. And the blood, D flat, that gives me strength, B flat 7 over D, from day to day. F7, it will never lose its power. And you have to, if there's anything that you have to get, it's that groovy little cadence. Do we have enough information to figure this out now? So A flat, the blood that Jesus diminished there. What diminished? A flat diminished, I guess. The blood that Jesus shed for me, way back on Calvary, and the blood that gives me strength from day to day. It will never lose its power. It reaches to the highest mountain, it flows through the lowest valley, and the blood that gives me strength from day to day, it will never lose its power. And it has another verse which you can look up, but it's groovy. Am I wrong? It's just groovy. If you got a buddy who plays like a B3 organ or some gospel-y thing, if you can have him just kind of playing on the back, and if you've got some man or woman you know who can just croon, you put them up in front of the microphone and have them sing this song, and people will love it. For the intro, you might just want to play the blood that I'm gonna forget to play the chord. The blood that Jesus shed for me, way back on Calvary, and the blood that gives me strength from day to day, it will never lose its power. It reaches to the highest mountain, it flows through the lowest valley, and the blood that gives me strength from day to day, it will never, that's not right, it has to be minor to major, never lose its power. The cool thing about this song is if you get it, you'll be able to play a song on the guitar in the key of A flat. And I will be straight with you, not many guitarists can say that. That's what separates the wheat from the chaff, to use mournful religious imagery. All the children painted diagrams of God above their hands, hoping somewhere on this shaking earth they could find a place to stand. This video may never happen. Even after all that, Emmett is still sleeping. And I presume DeMar DeRozan is still a Spur, and Kawhi Leonard is still a Raptor. Anyway, it's hot. It's a hot day.